Lewis Hatchett, the former professional cricketer, and I have the absolute privilege to be able to interview him, to ask him more about emotional resilience, how he built his confidence through adversity, and some advice for kids and teens of today. So Lewis, share with me a bit more about yourself and how you overcame adversity to become the person you are today.
Well, my stories of becoming a professional cricketer is a little bit different. I was born with a very rare condition called Poland syndrome. Affects about 1 in 100,000 people. For me, it means I'm missing my right pectoral muscle and 2 ribs behind it. So growing up, I was a lot different, and I knew I had not only physical challenges, but then sort of later into my adolescence, I definitely had mental and emotional challenges. But really for me, I fought against those, and I found a mindset to help me overcome all these different challenges that I had to make it into the highest level of the sport that I went into at professional level. And I got 6 years of professional cricket out of it, and it was an amazing journey. I'm so proud to be able to say that I played professional cricket, especially with this condition I had.
Yeah. And it really is an amazing story. And at Champs we teach kids and teens about how to overcome negative labels and how our own negative branding, or perhaps labels from other people, can cause us to limit our potential in life. And as I understand it, you were told early on that any physical contact sport was not an option. So I'm interested to learn more about how you overcame that and built a resilient mindset in order to really achieve the aspirations that you have in life.
I think for me, I didn't see myself as different growing up. I have a younger brother who's fully able-bodied. I would just compete with him on a sort of sibling rivalry basis. But growing up, I knew I was different, but I didn't want to be treated any different. So I kind of look at it as the whole seeing everyone playing outside in the snow and you're indoors. And I just was like, no, I'm going to go out there and put myself out there and try. I've been told that I can't play. For me, it was really like contact sports. It was like rugby, things like that. So even when rugby was being played at school in PE, I would give it a go. I'd give it a slight go. I just knew I couldn't get to a certain level. But cricket was a sport that I'd been told, that my parents were told at birth I wouldn't be able to play. And then when it came about to play it, I threw myself into it. So that sort of resilience, I suppose, of not doing what I was supposed to do, sort of just came from really just throwing myself in there and giving it my best go and just seeing how it goes. And then a dream of becoming a professional cricketer came about, and that was just the moment I decided to do that. Then this whole goal, and I just wanted to become better and better, I just competed as well as I possibly could with what I had.
So really having a purpose in life gave you that drive and determination. And I suppose also from a nurturing family point of view, that even though your parents were told early on about your condition and what you could or couldn't do, you sort of surpassed that in terms of as a family, as you mentioned about that normal sort of challenges and determination through siblings and the whole relationship. Would you say that's where the determination and emotional resilience has also come from?
Yeah, I think my parents didn't treat me any different. Like my parents didn't, like I said, my brother is fully able-bodied, so we were, and he's only a year younger than me, so we were both at similar level, and we were just kind of, I didn't see myself any different from him, and he didn't see himself too different from me. So
the natural sibling competitiveness, I guess.
Massively. Yeah. So my parents didn't ever say, don't do this, don't do that. It was just a case of go give it a go, and do your best sort of thing. So yeah, that's really, it was a really simple message, and there was never really a take a step back, never just be careful some moments, but that's about it really, because physically I was vulnerable. That was it. I think For me, the emotional side of it, like I said, probably didn't develop a bit more until sort of later school, and the realisation of the emotional and the mental battles I was going through. I didn't realise those until I was out of this sort of bubble of trying to become a cricketer, trying to become a professional athlete. I was so focused on that the actions I was doing, sort of the subliminal things where I was covering my condition or not hiding it, I didn't realise those until I was a little bit older. But my parents would never really make it a big issue, and they would never sort of
so it's more of a natural part of growing up. For anyone that doesn't know or hasn't seen your story, just describe sort of your physical condition in terms of the Poland syndrome.
So it does mean I'm missing my right pectoral muscle, this big chest muscle, 2 ribs that are behind it. So if I was to be struck by a cricket ball on that right side, it's going to hit my lung. So that could go anywhere between like a slight winding or a fatal injury. But for me, where this big muscle isn't, my shoulder muscles in my right have compensated for all that. So I have my scapula's pulled out of place, my shoulder blades pulled out of place on my right side. There's muscles in my shoulder that are overworking, overactive, cause daily headaches on my right side. And all these different sort of challenges I have to deal with each day. I was happy to work with those and try calm them down in many different techniques, like yoga was one for me, and do all that to become a professional athlete, because that was sort of the sacrifice I had to make physically to do this, because I did know I was different, and it was going to take a lot more work for me to physically do this job as a professional cricketer than other people, I suppose.
So that, I suppose your passion and your aspirations and your dream were really then the driving force, that no matter whether you were having a physical pain or an emotional barrier, that was really sort of driving you forward. And would you say that in terms of having Poland syndrome, rather than using it as a negative label or a limiting label, that you've used it as a strengthening your character and shaping who you've become today?
I always kind of told myself the story growing up, like how cool would it be if I became a professional cricketer and I had this condition, but and I think I kind of saw the end goal, and then just sort of worked my way back from it. But at the sort of living in the here and now when I was doing it, I don't think it wasn't on my mind all the time. It was merely like, okay, I've got to go and practice cricket, I've got to go and strengthen my body, I've got to go and eat better, and it was these little things that I was just focused on right then and there. My condition really wasn't in the forefront of my mind at the time. Probably only really was when I was doing something physical, because I could just feel the differences, and I knew I had to taper, create different programs for my body to do certain jobs. But no, it was that I did use it massively as a strength. I kind of saw it as I'm different. It's good that I can. This is my uniqueness. So this is my sort of my thing.
Celebrating being unique, which is what massively. We teach kids and teens how to be. And so, what would be your encouraging message to a child or teen to overcome a problem or a challenge, which could be just an everyday friendship challenge, or it could be something like dyslexia or ADHD or anything else that they're experiencing?
I think this is something I'm really big on. I challenge myself with it every day, because I think us as human beings, whether we're old, young, we're all the same. We think very negatively about ourselves. We whether it's society, our environment we're in, or just internally for ourselves, we will tend to think about the negativity of ourselves. So for me, I like to challenge myself to bring out the positives in what I'm doing. What am I doing well? What am I actually contributing to myself, others, and what is around? And that can be quite challenging, because sometimes you go, well, what are you doing well? And I can't think of anything right now. But it could literally be as simple as I'm an honest person, I'm a loyal person, and really sort of human being traits, rather than I'm a good artist, I'm a good runner, I'm a good musician. All these things, we probably tend to think a bit too broad. So for me, if I am having a day where, and it's regularly, that I will have these negative thoughts coming in, like, what am I doing? Like, am I doing the right thing? Actually challenge myself to think about the positive things that I'm doing in my life. So, okay, I've done something good this morning. I got up and I did 30 minutes stretching or something like that, and that's actually improved my body for the day. So I've done something to improve myself day in, day out.
So kind of simplify it rather than thinking too big.
Really, a day by day.
Something at Champs that we teach is that to focus on what you want. As you mentioned about, it's easy to get kind of caught up in the negative.
Yeah.
So of course, when we think about doing something, well, I'm no good at this, or I'm going to fail at that, or this time, that happened last time, that kind of thing. So we teach kids about how to focus on what you want. So that is very similar, as in, you want to strengthen your body, so what do you have to do? And today I did 30 minutes stretching.
It's kind of seeing the end goal, and working your way back, and okay, right, I want to be this at the end of whatever it is you choose to be, and what am I going to need to do to build myself up to that? Because otherwise, if I really just think about that, I'm not going to do much, and I'm going to get lost. I'm going to get lost in thinking of all the different things I'm going to have to do. So it could be, and I tend to try to think about, like, kind of just touching like these 1% gains every day. Am I going to bed at night having improved myself just a little bit more than what I was when I woke up? So, and that could be anything. That could be literally doing something for your physical body that helps nourish your mind as well. Or whether it's be read like an article or a bit of text that you didn't know, learn something new that day. Could even be something like speak to a friend, text a friend that you haven't spoken to in a while and rekindle a relationship. You've improved your life in some way that day, to then move on to the next day and try and do it another way.
Enriching.
Yeah, and really, and that then brings a little bit of positive. That brings a great feeling, fulfillment for that day, which you can hopefully then bring on for the next day. And whereas if we get dragged down by thinking about too broader picture, it just becomes so overwhelming. And I mean, if I think back to my story, if I thought about becoming a professional cricketer and thinking, okay, wow, everyone else who's a cricketer or trying to become a cricketer is so good at this, so good at that, and I'm not that, I'm not this. It'd have been so terrifying, because then I was able to go, right, what do I need to do? Block out everything else. What can I do to just make me that little bit better? And then it starts to, you suddenly see it's not an overnight thing. It takes years. It can take months, years, and it's. But then eventually you start to see a difference.
It's having that goal, that purpose, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And for kids growing up in a world of perceived perfection, obviously with social media, and we've talked about this, your advice for them on managing emotions and building confidence in a digital world?
Is a really tough one, because we are swarmed in it, and I even feel those effects on me as well. Someone who looks different, especially when I have my shirt off, people can see my condition. And this world where we're on Instagram and you've got to look picture perfect. And
have you had any kind of negative comments or anything because of your condition?
Yeah. I've had people sort of message me about it and can't quite understand what it is or why I'm doing what I'm doing. So you do see that, but then it's more also the fact that stuff that you go and see yourself. It's maybe the people you follow, the people you sort of stumble across on the internet, and you realise these images are they're not real. It's not real. It's not real life. It's not. Everyone has their imperfections, but it's loving those imperfections that make you. And I kind of touched on it about having your uniqueness. And if you can accept your uniqueness, then it is it's really, really powerful. I mean, it's taken me a while. It has taken me a while, because I came from a professional sport background where you are assumed to be this body perfect image because you're a professional athlete. Did you feel the pressure of that at all? I kind of think so. Yeah. I kind of built my body. I knew I had to build my body to do the job as effectively as I possibly could, to the best of my ability. And the byproduct of working that hard in the gym is you do get a good physique. So I kind of felt like I felt I needed to do that, but I also saw around me, people associate the word athlete and professional athlete with you've got a great physique and you're in great shape. So there is pressure from that sense, but I think now stepping out of the professional world and having retired from it, it's realising the different pressures that are out there, and I don't find, again, it's finding that confidence from what you really like about yourself, and it can be really challenging, but there is something that we always will like about ourselves, and if you don't know, really open up those lines of communication and ask someone, and say,
ask the right people
that are close to you, and say, and really becoming quite vulnerable with it, because I definitely wasn't, but now I have opened up a lot about it, and I will ask close friends, maybe family, like, what is it that's so good about me? And as soon as they kind of say that, whatever it is, then that'll give you a different sense of confidence, and a much better sense of confidence, self-confidence, and
it's the right kind of validation, isn't it? Because of course with the digital world and young people, often we give away too much power to someone else's opinion of us, and needing their sort of approval or the validation. So it is about, of course, asking the right people, and understanding. I mean, at Champs we have a saying about opinions, that opinions are like armpits, and everyone has them, but some stink. Right. So of course we have to understand that there is we have to understand different people's opinions and where they're perhaps coming from, and whether we need their validation or not. But in terms of the digital world, then of course it is being very careful and asking bigger, better questions about what is real and what isn't. It always comes back to me for loving what you have, rather than worrying about what you don't have. We tend to look so far outside and look at around us. Wow, they've got this, they've got that. And again, we don't look at ourselves and go, what do I have? I could sit here and go, I wish I had another chest muscle on my right side. I really wish. But that's never going to happen. For me, that is never going to happen. So I merely love what I've got. I make the best of what I've got. I don't say, okay, if you're perhaps not eating well and starting to gain weight, and your health is declining, and health for me is the most important thing. So look after your health, because that will help looking after your mind. So promoting a healthy lifestyle, but fundamentally get to a point where you know you're doing the best for yourself, and that's it. Then love it. Then just absolutely love it. Then you're completely content with what you've got, and it's a much easier space to be in. It really is. So rather than looking for that validation, finding out what I don't have, and then looking for what you do have and what you can love from that. Some very wise words from Lewis. Thanks so much. There's no one better at being you than you, so celebrate being you. As we've heard from Lewis, in adversity, in challenges, no one is better at being you than you. So go out and enjoy.